that masking was effective and worked when they knew internal documents said.
It
and
does
the emails
work.
came out that it didn't work.
Okay, well, what
true or
she
false?
does. Okay,
6 foot distancing.
hold on a
True or
second.
false? The CDC say
hold
that
on a
6
second.
Misinformation,
foot
folks.
worked, and it
You're
didn't.
seeing it in action.
First of all,
They said it was going to stop the spread in 2
Misinformation.
Ben, are you
You're
gonna
seeing
are you
it
gonna
in
are you gonna have a
action.
conversation, or are you just gonna keep talking? Look,
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to yesterday's news channel, where we watch CNN so you don't have to. Tonight, CNN's Newsnight panel melted down over Florida ending vaccine mandates. And of course, Scott Jennings and Ben Ferguson were the only ones making sense at the table. When Ben Ferguson and Scott Jennings calmly pushed back on the arrogance of forcing medical decisions, the rest of the panel, including Horace Grant lookalike Nina Turner, lost their minds. Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings and Ben Ferguson make this entire liberal panel and the host look like complete morons. Or worse, full-blown DNC shills. Let's go.
Million hospitalizations. That's not anything to wink at. That's hardcore data. But what's happening in the United States is as if we are a runaway train. In public health, we talk about the cliff of good health, and we have fallen completely off of the cliff.
that's kind of what it feels like in a way, Ben, that everybody sitting at this table, all the folks in Florida, all of these people who are vaccine skeptics now have benefited from vaccines, allowing them to live their lives without polio, without measles. And now all of a sudden they want to pull the rug out from underneath children. I'm surprised by it. I mean, you have kids, a lot of us do at this table. If you lived in Florida, what would you be thinking?
2 things. One, they're not outlawed. That's good. The parents are going to decide. 2, there's a cause and effect, and the CDC lied to us about COVID, and they lied a lot.
Not true.
They lied about masks in schools.
Not true.
They lied about distancing.
Not
They
true.
lied about the efficiency or the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Not true.
It is true. They
Not true.
said that distancing. Hold on, wait.
CDC
Did they
not
not lie
The
about the
CDC
effectiveness
did
of a
not
mask
lie.
when the internal
Yes,
document
if you
said
talk about
that the
certain
mask
types
did
of
not work in the
masks,
schools?
if we're looking at high quality
plexiglass
masks, if we're
didn't
looking
work.
at high quality masks, right? So
That's not what they said.
P95 masks,
I would love it if they
those
would've said that.
masks
They
actually
didn't say
prevent
that.
infections. Because
They
look,
didn't
this is
say
the
that.
way science works.
Hold on,
Science works
wait,
that
let me-
as
let
you
me
get
finish and
data,
answer the
the
question
type
she was
of
asking.
communication that you give
this
will
is
improve.
why
You can't say the
American- this is
CDC
why
lied.
Florida's doing right now.
You can't
Hold
say
on,
the
I think
CDC
I
lied.
actually think it's important.
It's very
for her-
important.
what they just
If you're
did.
saying
No,
things that are
they're doing that
not
because of malpractice for
accurate,
political
I do think
bullshit.
it's fair for her to
The
counter that.
CDC said that masking was effective and worked when they knew internal documents said.
It
and
does
the emails came
work.
out that it didn't work.
Okay, well, what
It
True or
she
false?
does.
Okay,
6
well,
foot distancing.
hold on a
True or false?
second.
The CDC say
Hold
that
on a
6
second.
Misinformation,
foot worked,
folks.
and it
You're
didn't.
seeing it in action.
First of all,
They said it was going to stop the spread in 2
Misinformation.
Ben, are you
You're
gonna
seeing
are you
it
gonna
in
are you gonna have a
action.
conversation, or are you just gonna keep talking? Look, hold on, okay. First of all, what she is disputing is your language around this, which is that they lied.
Yes,
which is,
exactly.
Which she's saying, and I think she's right about this, is not true. There are certain types of masks that work better than others.
We've been using masks
and
for
B,
decades.
the whole point of
emails-
science. I mean, and this is,
Abby,
I think
this
that,
is
let me
why
just,
Florida did this, and
let
this
me
is
just
what you guys
bring-
don't understand.
hold on.
No, Florida
There's a
did it
cause and
because of
effect.
hold
The
on,
American
hold on.
people don't trust the
One-upsmanship.
Hold on a
That's why
second.
Florida did
for
it.
the reasons I said. You may not like that. You may not like the American people
Because
who believe
Americans
that.
don't trust the CDC
They do not.
because people like
Data.
RFK Jr. and others.
Thank
and
That's why
actually, this
RFK
guy,
Jr. got the job he's got
this
now
guy-
because
he
so many
got the
people
job
didn't
because of
trust the
hold on a
CDC.
second. Okay, Ben.
Every other video I'm saying this is the most frustrating panel. This one, whew, it's up there for me. Ben Ferguson points out the obvious that I'm sure every one of you watching the clip was thinking. The CDC misled people on masks, social distancing, and a lot of other things. But the liberal panel attacks him and acts like saying that the CDC lied during the pandemic is misinformation. Resentment's the wrong word, but I still have very strong feelings about some things that happened to me personally during the pandemic. I wasn't, and I'm still not anti-vaccine. I just didn't want anyone forcing me to take it. And for that, I was treated like an outcast amongst friends that I'd been friends with almost my entire life. I couldn't even spend Christmas with my loved ones because I said no. Someone very close to me, who I love very much, asked me at the time when we were trying to coordinate Christmas, is this really the hill you want to die on? And my answer, I didn't say it because I wasn't looking to be confrontational or anything, just kind of let it go. But in my head, the answer was, yeah, it is. I don't know if it's the number one hill to stand on, but I think my right to decide what goes into my body is a pretty good hill to stand on. And I'm sorry, I just said hill to stand on like 3 times. It works maybe once, but I wish you guys could see into my head and like how I see the world. You know, we all see it different, but like for me, it is just inconceivable to be as smug as the people on this panel, knowing everything that we know. They keep acting like this lady doctor is infallible. Doctors can be wrong. Doctors can be biased. They can be political. The Surgeon General of Florida is a doctor too, and he ended mandates. But can you imagine being this like bought off or propagandized or brainwashed to be on national TV in 2025 arguing in favor of the CDC's handling of the pandemic? Zero shame, man. Back to it.
But there are medical exceptions in Florida where if you have a medical condition right now, you don't have to get those vaccines. If you have a medical exception,
Exactly.
the point is, if you view it as a we, as a community,
We did
an
that, though.
effort.
It was a
Yes,
failure.
but listen,
But
let's-
that's the
let's-
part that you're
let's-
missing
let's-
about the American
let's
people.
go to-
Measles has
let's
been
go
a
to the
failure?
we.
No,
Let's
no,
go
no.
to the we.
I'm going
Herd
back to
immunity.
COVID-19
Herd
and
Well,
why
I,
we're
I know
having
that
a
it's
conversation.
convenient to go back to COVID, but we're
But that's
talking.
where this started.
we
The
have to-
CDC,
no, it
everyone
didn't. No,
trusted
it
them
didn't.
before
Hold on, Ben.
COVID-19. True
Right
or false?
now,
It was like a
in this,
90+%
hold on,
approval
Ben,
rating
right now
for
in
the
this
CDC.
country, Scott, the question is, should children going back to school, you also have kids. I don't know if they're vaccinated or not. I presume they probably are. If they are going back to school, should they have a vaccine for polio? Should they have a vaccine for measles, mumps, and rubella? Should they have a vaccine for any
diphtheria,
number of things
for chickenpox
that we don't even talk about anymore because it's not really a part of American life because we've eradicated it because of vaccines? Should they?
Yeah, I think it's indisputable that vaccines have saved millions upon millions of lives, and that these vaccines for these diseases you're talking about work. I mean, they've been working for decades in many cases. So I think that's fact number one. I think Dan raised an interesting point about you could hold 2 thoughts at the same time. You could believe that they work and believe that you don't have any questions about it. And you may also believe that the government shouldn't make you do anything that you don't want to do regarding health care.
Government makes you get a license.
Whether you have concerns about the vaccines or not, there are people who do not believe that the government should be able to
Government
mandate
makes you wear a seatbelt.
anything like that. Well, there are people that don't think that.
They don't make you drive.
And
They
so,
don't make you drive.
Yeah,
but
if
so
you're-
I think it's
listen,
possible
but
for
if
people
you
to hold.
choose
And so
to
anyway, I
get
think that's
behind
kind of the
a
debate
will,
that's going on.
The government
That is
regulates
personal
how you
liberty.
behind the will.
That is the debate, but I think Dan's point is, and I think this is super important when it comes to vaccines. Vaccines are not just an I decision; they are
Yes, they
a we
are we
decision
decision.
because they don't work as well unless and until we all
herd
participate
immunity. You
in
need
that.
herd
So that
immunity.
is part of what was the
I mean,
discussion
like-
here when it comes to mandates, because we are all protected when we are as a community vaccinated.
Yes.
We are less protected when we are not vaccinated as a community.
The 2 things that are really troubling in this whole debate is the fact that we do have to collectively make a certain level of sacrifice, and getting vaccinations are part of that sacrifice with a glorious outcome for the majority with a few exceptions. And to see the president, the leaders in Florida play political games of vaccinations, to see people cheer this on, not really understanding the full
heartbreaking.
impact
It's
of
heartbreaking.
what this is going to do for political expediency. And the second point, very irrational, irresponsible for him to compare people having to get vaccinations
slavery.
with chattel slavery.
They really just threw everything at the wall and prayed something sticked in this clip, huh? First, that stupid doctor compares vaccine mandates to seatbelts. I mean, how is she a doctor? What a terrible analogy. A seatbelt comes with a choice. You drive, you buckle up. A vaccine mandate is about forcing something into your body just to live your life. I don't even know if that could be classified as an analogy. Then right on cue comes a tired old guilt trip. Don't think about yourself, guys, okay? Think about we. Well, that's a nice thought. But, it's dawned on me that the government only cares about we when they need something from us. When we need something from them, it's all about you. You comply. You sacrifice. People see through that. So just for some context, the Surgeon General of Florida, when he announced that there's no more vaccine mandates, who is a black man, by the way, I'm not quoting him exactly, but he was fired up. He was like, this is unacceptable. And, we're doing away with all vaccine mandates, and everyone cheers. He gave a bunch of negative descriptors, and one of them used was slavery. So that's why you saw stupid Nina Turner jump in and make it about race. In that little clip of what we saw her talking about, there were so many dumb statements that it's just comical, But I think most people are catching the narcissism, okay? Follow me. The Surgeon General, again, a black American, compared mandates to slavery. And suddenly it's all about her? Slavery has existed across human history. It's not a personal reference. But no matter the context, if that word, just a word in the English language, is ever referenced, with people like Nina, exactly where it's going. And we've heard it all a billion times. This reminder of the pandemic and this panel meltdown proves exactly why trust in the media and government is at rock bottom. They demand that you blindly follow. They insult you when you don't. And they double down even after their own lies have been exposed for years. But the more they lecture, especially on a horrible losing topic like this one, the more people are waking up. If Democrats think relitigating their pandemic failures is smart politics, they're in for another rude awakening at the ballot box. What do you guys think? Is there any chance this panel actually believes their own nonsense about the pandemic? Or are they just hoping we'll forget the lies we all lived through? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this video. No announcements other than, can you guys do me a favor? If you watch regularly and you're not subscribed, I'd really, really appreciate it. I go out of my way not to ask you guys to do it all the time. So this is like back in June when I said I'm calling in a favor. When I was asking people just more directly during that time period, subs actually did increase quite substantially. And just click all the other buttons that everyone else tells you to as well. Any little piece of support helps a lot. Also, have you guys seen this new feature? It's called like Hype or something. You can assign points, I guess, to videos. I've never even tried it. I've just seen it. But if you know how to do that, I guess I'll figure it out and remind you guys. I mean, I have no idea how much that'll affect channels and the algorithm, but every little bit helps. So thanks for taking the time to watch today's video. I really, really appreciate you guys. Always put God first. See ya.